Hey, good morning, my friends, and welcome to Surfside, California. It's a gorgeous morning, and what a difference a day makes. We had the violins out last night. Some guys were even playing taps. Was the offshore season over? And then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just giant schools of yellowfin tuna pushed closer to San Diego. Well over 1,000 fish taken yesterday. Several boats got in on it, about 10, and most of them got done up, got limits on the yellowfin tuna. We'll have that story and so much more because the boys up here in LA Orange County area, they're seeing yellowfin tuna. Also, there's still Dorado around. It is a long way from over. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Hey, great to be back with you all, man. I'll tell you what, Scott Buchard called me last night. He got in on the mission bell, and he was as excited as I've ever heard him. I mean, he was like a machine gun. About, we had this stop, we had these fish came to the corner. I threw some bait, the corner exploded with fish. Really sounds exciting. We'll get into all that and so much more in 1 minute. First of all, October the 23rd, 22nd Street Landing. We're celebrating 1 million views. We've already zoomed past that. Thousands upon thousands of hours consumed by all of you. Thank you so very much. Give me the opportunity to shake your hand and say thank you. And we have got some incredible raffles for that day. We have 50-50 raffles going on, and we also have an incredible raffle with Daiwa reels. We have rods, we have tackle. It is going to be fantastic. If you want to help us out, that's how you could do it. Buy some raffle tickets, make a donation to our Mexico efforts. That would be very special to all of us and make a big difference in the Friedman Adventures family. And making big differences, just hit that thumbs up button, that like button. That means so much to us. So many of you are doing that. And if you do that this beautiful Saturday, I would deeply appreciate it. It's gorgeous. I'm telling you, there's no wind. Yesterday in the morning about this time, a lot of wind, and it just seemed like a different kind of day. But it's gorgeous today, and the fishing can't get much better. Add to that we've got squid moving into a variety of locations. Most all the islands are seeing an influx of squid. Some of the coastal regions like the Santa Monica Bay, and that's a game changer. You know, behind all that squid are predators like white sea bass and yellowtail and halibut and a variety of other predators. Man, I'm telling you, this is really starting to look crazily good again. So hang on, put your safety belt on and hang on for the ride because it is only just beginning. Bisbee's $1 million tournament down in Cabo San Lucas, October the 25th. We'll follow that for you when we get a little bit closer to that. And of course, Captain Sean Morgan is down there, and he'll keep us in touch with what is going on during the Bisbees and after the Bisbees and before the Bisbees. Before I get into the fish count, I was privy to watch a Three Stooges skit down on the Judithan yesterday. It was pretty fun. So anyway, Tom Durr's boat is operational again. You can call him up and get a charter on that thing and go catch some yellowfin tuna or dorado or bass or whatever it is you want to do. But getting there was kind of comical yesterday. So Tom went to the hardware store because they're going to put the new props on, and he bought the wrong size screws. So Mike, the diver, said, I can't use these. I need stainless steel, and these aren't even going to fit. So Tom says, can you please go to the hardware store? So my buddy Bob Gifford and I go to the hardware store. We bring them back, and then a whole bunch of different things were going on. It was comical as heck. Mike got in the water, installed the new props. Tom put it in gear. It works beautifully with the brand new engines in the Judithan. And then we went up to our office, and all of those guys were talking about UFOs and how they're sure that there are aliens amongst us. And back here on planet Earth, I was trying to research the fish reports for all of you. So fun day and crazy stuff going on, no question about it. Let's go down to Ensenada, where my friend Victor down there at Blackfin tells me that one panga had a very difficult day. You know you have a good source in this business when he tells you somebody had a difficult day. because some guys you'll hear, they just keep painting this rosy picture, and you know that's not a good source. Victor, Blackfin, Punabanda, great source, give you this straight information every single time. One ponga went off and just couldn't get it done. Couldn't find a kelp, couldn't find anything. It was a very difficult day for them. They came back and fished reds and tried to get everybody a bunch of rockfish. Nothing wrong with that. They did end up with one yellowfin tuna, so that's pretty good. Now, Ignacio Duarte is a captain down there, and Ignacio, man, he just would not throw the towel in. He went down to the south and he found a kelp, had some smaller tuna and dorado down in that neck of the woods, but Ignacio said, I am not throwing the towel in today. I'm going to keep working at this. In fact, he got in at 6:30 last night. 6:30. So he had a late one, and of course, that's dark, man. You're running home in the dark. So he worked his tail off. He ended up in 65-degree water, which is a little cool for yellowfin tuna. But man, he found some porpoise, or I should say some dolphin, and the bigger grade yellowfin bit for him. So that is good news, and they pulled a rabbit out of the hat due to Ignacio's hard work. Really great stuff. Blackfin down there out of Punabanda. You should give them a try. We also love Arnie Man. Find him on Facebook, Arnie Man. And also Costa Baja Sport Fishing. Great stuff. Ensenada still going strong, and they'll continue to go even if this yellowfin leaves us, because we have bluefin and then rockfish and bass fishing and so much more. So we'll be keeping you up to date on all of that. The offshore situation in San Diego dramatically improved yesterday. There were some scores that were mind-boggling. As I told you, Scott Bucher called me last night, and he was so excited about how good the bite was. Yellowfin tuna about 45 miles from Point Loma. Those day boats, those guys that leave in the morning, Liberty, Mahi-mahi, San Diego, the Mission Bell, which Scott was on, they had to stretch their chain out quite a ways, but they are perfectly willing to do it here in the fall. They ran the distance, and they came up with excellent fishing. Limits of yellowfin tuna on board the Mission Bell. Now, this is mostly the smaller grade fish, but they're copious amounts, and man, they're fun to catch, great eating, and 5 of those babies, man, you got some great eating ahi to take home, and it was really, really good fishing. So you're going to fish that with 25 to 40 pound mono. I would bring hook sizes from size 2 to 2.0, mostly all fly line, but you will find some fish on the iron. Daiwa Sakana, something with chrome in it, was very effective. You want to go 60 to 120 grams. That works perfectly. You don't throw the iron with anything less than 40, and I like 50. That works even better for you, keeps you in the game, keeps you catching fish. You know, sometimes you'll get a stop, and it's a half-hour stop, and that's the only thing you get for the whole day. So you need to catch a fish, get it in on the boat, catch a fish, get it on the boat. You need to be efficient if you want to put some fish on the boat. And the way to do that is by being prepared, being really prepared, being really observant, knowing when to go to your heavy tackle, knowing when to go to your light tackle. Have a discussion with the crew member. They're in tune far better than I am. Those San Diego crews, these guys, they really are in tune with what's going on. Talk to them. Make a friendship on the way out. Tip them on the way home. Do all of that, and you're going to be in the driver's seat. Grande yesterday, 34 guys, 58 yellowfin tuna, 12 dorado. There were several boats. Now, Sean told me that about 10 guys got in there, and he said most everybody had limits. It was that good, that wide open, and man, I think it's just going to keep going. Now, San Diego, 160 yellowfin tuna and a bluefin tuna. Scott said he'd throw a handful of bait and the corner would explode with yellowfin tuna, fish coming out of the water, and they were getting sonar marks. There wasn't all that much dolphin around, but if that dolphin gets in there, that yellowfin will mix with that, and of course they will betray their little brethren, the yellowfin tuna, because you see the dolphin clearly. You can get on it and catch those things. Man, I'm telling you, great fishing going on, a lot of sonar marks shut down on it, a wide area. I asked Sean, was it a big area? And he said, well, it's hard to tell because it's our first day on it, but 10 boats got in there, and about all 10 had great fishing. Liberty, Grande, San Diego, Mission Bell. I mean, there were several other boats there without going through all the scores, and most of them had excellent fishing on that YFT. So that is great news. Vary your tackle, have some iron with you, bring some hook sizes from number 2, love blacktail hooks, number 2 to 2.0 size hooks, and you're going to be in the driver's seat. There's a little bit of bluefin mixed up with this, and there's the possibility, of course, of finding a kelp with Dorado. But right now, the name of the game is wide open yellowfin tuna, and we are so blessed to see it, so blessed to have it. Now, LA Orange County area, guys that are fishing out near San Clemente Island and areas where we had quite a bit of fish at one time, experienced some slower fishing. The Amigo getting back on a trip. I talked to Anthony, who ran the boat, and he said, we had a kelp, 70-degree water, 40 or so. I think he had 35 Dorado. Nothing wide open on that trip. It happens. Sometimes, you just don't find the right kelp, or conditions have been a little bit off. Now, the question that looms in my mind with the Enterprise and the Freelance, several other boats, local boats out of the Los Angeles, Orange County area, boats that are mostly headed to Catalina Island, they encountered yellowfin tuna also. So the question that looms in my small mind is this fish moving up? Are we seeing that yellowfin push up so those San Diego boats can get them? And is the same phenomenon going to occur here in the LA Orange County area? And that is a question worth pondering, a question for the ages. And as the time unfolds before our eyes here, and we move closer to Halloween, well, forget Halloween, we move closer to the October 23rd celebration at 22nd Street Landing. That's what everybody's talking about. Incidentally, bring your kids down. We've got a Halloween dress up and lots of candy for the kids also. That's going to be a fun time also. But as we move into the fall, we're going to see what happens here. And we could see the banks explode even more. Tanner, Cortez Bank, there's still some good yellowtail fishing out there, bluefin tuna, yellowfin tuna, but it could get crazy as more and more fish start to move up the line. And how in the heck can you beat that? By the way, there is still fish all the way up there to Santa Cruz. Good guy, Jens Meyerhoff. Jens is a great fisherman. In fact, he was down here bouncing around our local islands at one point in time, but check him out with those gorgeous bluefin tuna, 135 pounder, 145 pounder off of Santa Cruz, California. Unheard of until this year when we're catching Dorado all the way up in Washington. It's been a crazy year. Jens, thanks for sharing that. That is really outstanding stuff. All right, so as we move you up to the offshore situation here around San Clemente Island, Catalina, there's a great deal of potential not being realized quite yet. Hopefully it's going to pop out. And I'm just talking about a snapshot. You look back and the Thunderbirds had magnificent catches on bluefin and yellowfin. And so we're just, a zig or a zag away from a big score. At least you are on your trips, and we're going to watch that for you very, very closely. And then, of course, with this influx of fish moving up the beach, I am really feeling confident that we're into another dimension again. Something else great is going to happen. Look at out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, the Lexi yesterday. Man, those are gorgeous yellowfin tuna. Check that out. Man, oh man, that is good fishing. And overall, the boats that are fishing out of Dana Wharf and all the landings right now offshore haven't been slam dunking them. I get the feeling that we're going to get some coverage out there this weekend. You might see the light switch go on again. You might find some fish with more boats and more coverage. That kind of thing is likely to happen. Constitution down there out of San Diego, limits of Dorado. The gale force up here, LA Orange County area with 8 anglers, 4 yellowfin tuna and 8 Dorado. So there are some scores around, and they're not all that bad. Navigante out of Redondo, man, they have been red hot. They're fishing on an island, but they're also catching bluefin tuna. And up there on the Navigante, they had 20 yellows, I think it was. Nice hit for them, and they were beautiful grade, 15 to 30 pounds. 4 bluefin tuna to go along with it. Up there, they're probably more than likely fishing Santa Barbara Island, and there's been some big yellows there. I know some private guys who've hammered out some nice catches. You need to put the brakes on those fish. So that's when you're fishing 40 pound on those big grade yellows, whether it's at SBI or Clemente or Nicholas or wherever it is, you got to get the brakes on them. And then, of course, the tuna, nighttime tuna, that has really been MIA lately. And by that, I mean big scores. We're still catching fish at night, sometimes the 200 plus pounds, gorgeous grade, but you're fishing 130 pound with 200 pound leaders to make that happen. All right, let's bounce across the border, talk islands for a moment. We've got, excuse me, Todos Santos Island off Ensenada, still some yellows there. Calico bass, barracuda, bonita, not wide open but decent. Coronado Island still offer magnificent fishing for yellowtail, 20 to 80 yellowtail, or conceivable right now. A lot of yo-yo iron fish, so that means deep. Yo-yo iron is a small heavy jig, sometimes a large heavy jig, but a small heavy jig that you sink deep, you wind on quick, and when you get a bite, you feel it load up, you just keep turning the handle. It's the way to hook those fish. You fish heavy line, that is the way to go, right? 50 pound at least. And then the other yellows that are being caught mostly are deep, fall type fishing. So you're using a dropper loop with a 6-ounce torpedo. Sometimes you hang a lingcod, sometimes you hang another rockfish. Most of the time you hang a yellow at the Coronado Islands. Clemente, still a lot of yellows in that short water. We'll get a good picture because I saw my great friend Jeff Yeomans from the 540 Slingers Club last night. Jeff's on his way, or he's at San Clemente Island right now with all the 540 Slingers guys on board the Amigo. And I talked to Mark Paisano. He said he's going to go to Clemente, give that a hard look, try to catch yellows, bass, all of that stuff. And then he said, you know, on the ride home, we still have a shot at Dorado, yellowfin tuna, and all of that. So that's great news. We'll keep our eyes on that. We mentioned SBI, big yellows there, and then Channel Island area, tons of rockfish, occasional catch of sea bass. That could get even better with that influx of squid in there, halibut occasionally, and still bluefin tuna. In fact, the Aloha Spirit says, hey man, we're still fishing for bluefin. Bring 50 to 60 pound, 2-speed reels. Make sure you're tackled up. Bring some heavier lures up here and be ready to catch a Channel Island bluefin. Well, we're getting them in Santa Cruz, so why not? That is pretty darn incredible. Coastal region, nothing wide open, but some decent fishing for calico bass down there in Ensenada area, San Diego area, mostly bass and, you know, not a lot. Some big bonita, flash of big yellows occasionally, a lot of sculpin rockfish. Same thing up the coast, nothing wide open on the bass, just kind of picking away at it. And we move you all the way up there into the Channel Islands, Ventura sport fishing, Cody Rogers on the Island Spirit, whitefish, reds, rockfish. Beautiful table fare. I mean, you can't beat that for good eats. And then along the coast here, man, that is perfect. I'd be throwing a chrome crocodile in that right now. Just toss it out there and wind it back, and man, yellowfin croaker jumps on it, or a nice big halibut. A lot of good corvina fishing, however. Lighter line, a natural bait. It's the way to go, and it's pretty good up and down the coast for the corvina while they're still hanging out with us. Well, wide open yellowfin tuna. It doesn't get much better than it was down there in San Diego, and that's going to continue, I think. And where it ends up, I am not sure. It's moving up. It's about 45 miles from Point Loma right now. So a little bit of a stretch for those guys leaving in the morning, but those guys, they're not screwing around, man. They're running on that. And who knows, that fish, its inclination is to move closer, so we might see that really close here very, very soon. So great fishing going on. Overnight boats are cashing in on that. Constitution, you heard them with Limited Dorado, several other guys. The whole scene is again changing and getting really, really good, and we are stoked about that. And watch this LA Orange County area this weekend with us on the morning briefing. We'll have you all tuned up tomorrow morning because I think that could go. All right, Eddie Leland still needs your thoughts and love and prayers. Please send that out to him. I'm really trying to get him to the October 23rd celebration. Don't know if he's up to it. If he is, we'll get him down there, and then you can give him a hug in person. That would be great. October 23rd, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. All you got to do is show up. We've got food for you. We've got drinks for you. We've got the morning briefing coffee for you. We have got great raffles, which are really going to go to support everything that we do. So please come buy some raffle tickets, make a donation to our Mexico efforts. Have a great time. Listen to Brian Wynn's seminar. It's going to be great with Roger Eckhart. Those two guys are going to put on a great show for you. The Halloween contest for kids. Bring your kids. Give them a chance. You know, wearing your costume one time a year, that's no good just for Halloween. Let the kids get into their costumes and enjoy and get some candy and get some applause from the Friedman Adventures family. We're looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to thanking each and every one of you. I'm looking forward to jumping on board the Judith Ann because that was pretty funny yesterday. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of you October the 23rd. Thanks again, my friends. Great fishing I love it, man. It looked like things were going to die, and here it goes again. All right, have a great one. I'll see you Sunday morning with another morning briefing, and of course, I hope to see you October the 23rd.